Well, it's Thursday, and if you're watching this video, then that probably means that you like comic books. And I'm going to start out with issue 74 of Punisher Max. Um, this issue is the last issue of the story arc that was called Welcome to the Bayou. And if you look at the cover, you really get an idea what this issue is all about just by looking at that. Okay, we've got a giant, muscular, scary guy in a mask, and he's holding a bloody knife, and the title is Welcome to the Bayou. I wonder what's going to be in this comic. Okay. Swamps, yeah. Alligators, check. Crazy cannibalistic Cajun family, yep. Lots of brutal violence, check. I mean, it is a Punisher comic. Let's see. Maybe there's an endearing moment with the big scary masked guy at some point in the comic. Yeah. Well, Punisher Max 74 is a pretty good comic, but it's not a great one. The artwork is average, and other than Frank Castle, you don't really connect with any of the characters. I'd say that this comic is good if you're a Punisher fan like me, but otherwise you might want to just pick up Welcome Back Frank or Punisher Born, because they're just better. Next up this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 604. This issue closes up the Chameleon, Mary Jane plot arc in Amazing Spider-Man. And I have to say that I really enjoyed watching the Chameleon take over Peter Parker's life, so much that I was sad to see this story arc go. Another thing that I really liked about this series is that every comic has ended with a really great plot twist and a really great full-page panel reveal showing something cool for the next issue, like a little teaser. And this issue was no different. I also liked that it wasn't all action, and there was plenty of time that was spent on developing secondary characters in Peter's personal life. However, when there was action, it was drawn really well, and it was really easy to tell what Spider-Man was doing, which is really the most critical thing for the artwork in any Spider-Man comic. Amazing Spider-Man really never disappoints. It's a great book, and this was another great issue. Next up is Red Robin number 4. Now, this issue of Red Robin closes up a story arc called The Grail, which has been an introduction to the Red Robin new comic. And for the past 3 issues, we've seen Tim Drake go on a wild goose chase looking for Bruce Wayne, and he's ended up teaming up with some pretty bad people, Ra's al Ghul, and a group of crazy French assassins. Now, aside from making me crave bottomless fries and strawberry lemonade, Red Robin makes me crave some better artwork. I mean, it's not bad, it's just sort of bland. And the artist took a lot of shortcuts. With the smaller in-between panels, for instance, sometimes he would completely leave detail off of the faces, which just seemed kind of lazy to me. And the colorist doesn't do much to remedy the problem either. Most of the colors in this comic book were flat and drab as well. Now, don't let the cover fool you. Red Robin just isn't a beautifully drawn comic. It seems to me that out of all of the Batman Reborn titles, Red Robin really got the short end of the stick. And this is ironic because it's the only comic that deals with finding out what happened to Bruce Wayne. And if you read that god-awful excuse for a comic, Final Crisis, you know that Batman is sort of lost in time, but his dead body still managed to appear to everyone in the present on Earth. And all the other major players in the Batman universe have moved on. They buried Batman, and he's gone. But the only person that's still looking for Bruce is Red Robin. And the good news is that there is a major reveal in Tim's search for Batman in this issue. So if Final Crisis left you scratching your head or crying like I did, and like it should have, Red Robin number 4 has a cure for what ails you. Now, last but certainly not least is Kick-Ass number 7. Okay, you need to stop this video right now. Just stop it, just get up and go buy this comic. I'm not even kidding. Okay, I am kidding. But this comic really is that good. If you've been following Kick-Ass, you know that the story is about a 16-year-old kid in our world who decides to become a superhero, not because his parents got killed, not because of anything that terrible that happened in his childhood or to anyone he knows, but just out of boredom. So he sets up a MySpace page and becomes a vigilante. However, what happens to him is what would happen to most people if they tried this in the real world. He gets the shit kicked out of him, almost to death, several times. Now, the series is as funny as it is sad, and it's as charming as it is brutally violent. However, in this issue, things get really serious. This is the big issue that you've been waiting for if you're a fan of the series. There's a lot of big reveals about Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and also lots of really heart-wrenching moments. I'll try my best not to spoil anything for you, but I'm not making any promises. This comic is definitely the most violent out of all the issues to date. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a single page, a single panel that doesn't have illustrated blood on it. Sure, the blood and gore is necessary to the plot of this comic, but it's still a lot. Which brings me to the artwork. There's a reason why John Romita Jr. is regarded as one of the best comic book artists alive. There is absolutely nothing wrong with his artwork. The same goes for Mark Millar's writing. In short, there's nothing wrong with this comic. Buy it, reserve it, read it. You should. So that's it for comic books this week. Please remember to subscribe if you like hearing me reaffirm my nerddom every week. See you next Thursday.